These fourth quarter numbers are horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Views
Yep.
are down,
I
likes
know.
are down. What's
Yeah.
going on?
So sorry.
I can show you the spreadsheets
So
if you
sorry.
want, but
Yep.
for some reason, I
Of
don't
course.
think that will
Yep.
help. It's
I
ridiculous.
completely agree.
$67 with gum
I know.
drops?
Yep.
Sometimes
Can
I
you
wonder
just
if
hold
you
on
guys are even
one
working
second?
on. No, I will not. Hold on. Oh, let me guess. You're writing another. Do you guys actually think you're funny?
Ah yes, the age-old tradition of making gingerbread houses. It really makes it feel like the holiday season, doesn't it? Well, we wanted to get into the spirit this year, so we decided to make a gingerbread house.
But one of the funny things about gingerbread is that first, it doesn't really taste very good.
And B, it's not really a great building material either. Now, one of the great things about gingerbread is that it kind of looks like MDF.
And MDF is a great building material. And honestly, it doesn't taste that much worse.
So we decided to build a medium density gingerboard house, since it would be a little easier with the skill set and tools we have. And we also wanted it to be something we could use year after year, instead of something that eventually falls apart and gets thrown away.
And now we just needed some inspiration. Being furniture makers, we couldn't just go with a traditional Hansel and Gretel cottage look. We wanted something a bit more stylish and modern. So I found a nice looking modern house online and used that as inspiration. And then I modeled a scale version on the computer using SketchUp.
At this point, we debated cutting everything out by hand or cutting everything on the CNC. We did a test by printing out a paper template for one of the parts and cutting it out by hand. It was really just a matter of cutting out a chunk of MDF to match the dimensions of the template, then attaching the template with some adhesive. From there, we could just cut out any details with a jigsaw and finesse them with some files and sanding. MDF is so easy to cut and shape that doing it by hand actually wasn't too difficult, and we could have gotten pretty good results doing it that way. But you just can't deny the speed of a CNC machine, so we ultimately cut everything out with that.
And they turned out great. So it was just a matter of putting everything together at this point. We weren't totally sure the best way to go about this. Should we glue them down to the board?
No, I don't think so.
I think so.
I think.
Rock, paper,
well,
scissors, what? Rock, paper, scissors. But we decided to assemble the house in small sections so we could fit clamps and not get too far ahead of ourselves and make a mess of it. Though we still managed to do that a few times. We always do.
With the house mostly assembled, we could start work on some of the details, and this is the part we were most excited about. We started by painting some of the main parts like the garage door and front door, and the concrete driveway and path around the house. We know we were cheating a bit by using paint instead of icing, but going with the longevity mindset, we felt like this was the way to go. And most of the techniques and looks that we achieved could pretty easily be done with edible materials as well, if that's what you're into.
We also ran some LED lights around the inside of the house and made a popsicle stick deck and side fence. Alright, now we're really getting into the good stuff. First we used white puffy paint, or white icing, to line the edges of the house and add in some roof lines. And this step really started to give it that gingerbread house look.
The nice thing about this is that the lines didn't need to be perfect since it was meant to look natural, so we didn't need a high level of icing skill. But if we did, I bet we could have found a class about it on Skillshare, who I want to thank for sponsoring today's video. So if you've never heard of them, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes that can help people learn new skills, develop their interests, and explore creativity. They have classes that cover all sorts of things related to what we do, classes that'll teach you things like Premiere Pro for video editing or Fusion 360 for furniture design. But I wanted to learn something new, so I watched a course called Context is Key: Social Media Strategy in a Noisy Online World by Gary Vaynerchuk. Social media has always been pretty tough for me, but the fact that so much of my business revolves around social media means that I know I have to be better about utilizing these online tools, and this course helped teach me about doing just that. So shout out to Sean Boyd Made This on Instagram.
And Forest Furniture.
So whether you're looking to fend off boredom, focus on bettering yourself, or finding a similarly creative community, Skillshare is a great place for all of those. And right now, the first 1,000 people to use the link in the description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership, and after that, it's only around $10 a month. So go check it out if you're interested. Alright, thanks Skillshare. Let's get back to the build. So continuing with the icing, we also outlined the driveway and path, then proceeded to hang some Christmas lights around the house.
Now, we didn't want to go full Clark W. Griswold with these. Just nice and simple. And then on top of that, we added a wreath on the garage door and a bit of ivy on one of the side walls.
At this point, we were finally ready to give it the finishing touches, so we installed the fence, then added some candy landscaping. Candyscaping?
Canscaping?
Anyway, we wanted to stick with the modern look, so we kept it to mostly gumdrops and jujubes with a gumball tree. We also left all of the candy not permanently attached for the same reason that we used paint instead of icing. We wanted to be able to replace everything when needed, or just replace everything with non-edible pieces so it can last along with the rest of the house.
Oh, and we added a bit of powdered sugar to make it feel extra wintry.
Don't you mean wintry?